Lo llaman el maestro millonario. Ha cambiado vidas alrededor de todo el mundo. Robert Kiyosaki, el autor de Padre Rico Padre Pobre, se encuentra hoy en el Perú. Y junto a nuestros amigos de ProLife aprenderemos con el más grande cómo hacer. ¿Qué tal? How are you? Bueno, le voy a hacer una pregunta. El trabajo de Robert Kiyosaki ha cambiado la vida de muchas personas alrededor del mundo. Y el día de hoy estamos con personas que también quieren cambiar el mundo. ¿Qué es lo que sabe de los emprendedores peruanos? ¿Qué ha escuchado?
I heard Peru is the #1 country for entrepreneurs in the world.
Hace algunos años yo leí este libro, Padre Rico Padre Pobre, en la universidad, y algo que aprendí es que muchas personas trabajan por dinero y hay otras personas que hacen que el dinero trabaje para ellos. ¿Cómo se hace eso? ¿Cómo se aprende? ¿Qué hay que hacer?
When you work to build an asset, then the asset makes money for you, so you don't have to work for money anymore.
Buenas noches con todos. El punto, amigos, yo quiero compartir esta noche, a minutos de estar con Robert Kiyosaki, es que todos tenemos un padre pobre o un padre rico a quien hacerle caso. ¡Robert Kiyosaki!
Thank you all very much for being here. It's an honor to be back in Peru. I have a quick question. How many people have read Padre Rico Padre Pobre? Very good. Anyway, thank you very much. I'm honored to be here. A quick story about Padre Rico Padre Pobre. My real Kiyosaki, a fourth generation Japanese American. And I was born in Hawaii, and my poor dad, was the head of education for the state of Hawaii. Very smart man, PhD, great father. But I call him my poor dad very simply because he did not know much about money, and he eventually died poor, although he made a lot of money. And my rich dad was my best friend's father. And my best friend's father started with nothing, but was an entrepreneur and became one of the wealthiest men in the state of Hawaii. So starting at the age of 9, my rich dad began teaching me how to be rich. And he said, so I would go to my rich dad's office and we would play Monopoly. And we'd play Monopoly hour after hour. And then I'd go home to see my poor dad, the school teacher, and he says, what you been doing all day? And I said, I've been playing Monopoly. And my dad would say, don't waste your time. Do your homework. Go back to school. You know? And I go back to my rich dad and we play Monopoly again. So one day, I asked my rich dad, I said, how come my dad doesn't like me playing Monopoly, but you like me playing Monopoly? And he said very simply, he said, because the formula for great wealth is found on the Monopoly board game. Very simply, he said, the formula for great wealth is 4 greenhouses, 1 red hotel. 4 greenhouses, 1 red hotel. And I went, is that all there is? And he said, that's all there is. So I was 9 years old, and I went through school, and I went to school in New York. And when I was 19, 10 years later, I come back, and my rich dad had bought the big red hotel right in the middle of Waikiki Beach. He owns all the land underneath the hotels today. So, rich dad, poor dad, is a very simple story of what two fathers tell their sons about the subject of money. And as you know, we don't have much financial education in school, so oftentimes we learn about money at home. So my poor dad always said to me, go to school and get a job. And my rich dad always said, go to school and become an entrepreneur. And so today I'm an entrepreneur. I have businesses throughout the world. Very simply, I'm going to give you a quick story about why I think you're in the right place. Why I think it's very important that you be here tonight. And it goes back to Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And this is very simple. What my rich dad taught me was that if you wanted to be rich, you had to understand how to read financial statements, numbers. So at the age of 9, he showed me this and this. And this is income, expense, assets and liabilities. Very simply that. Okay? So my poor dad was always saying to me, Padre Pobre, go to school and get a job. And my rich dad said, you'll never be rich if you do that. So my rich dad said, what you have to do is, and this is where my rich dad said he focuses on the asset column. So this is why so many people never become rich, is because they focus on a job versus assets. And the difference between an asset and a liability is really simple. Assets put money in your pocket whether I work or not. So what most people do is they go to school and they buy a house, and what they do is they buy a liability, then they have a house, and then they have a car, and then credit cards. So they never get rich. The money just comes in and the money goes out. Okay? So financial intelligence begins knowing the difference between assets and liabilities. So the reason it is important for you to be here tonight is that there's 4 basic assets. And the number 1 asset is a business, to be an entrepreneur. The richest people in the world own businesses. You look at Bill Gates, he started Microsoft, Steve Jobs, Apple Computers. My wife Kim and I started the Rich Dad Company and all this. So today, the Rich Dad Company, we get paid about $2 million a month whether we work or not. The money comes in. Business is being involved. All of you have that opportunity when you build your business. Once your business is going and you're a good leader, the money just keeps coming in. That's the beauty of it. So this is what makes the rich rich. It's not a job, and it's not a nice house or a nice car. So a lot of times a person can have a nice house and a nice car and look rich, but they're not rich. You know? So when I was a boy, I was having a hard time in school, and I had bad grades. And my rich dad pulled me aside and says, get your grades up, you know, because I had F's. But I couldn't write. I just could not write. And today I'm a best-selling author throughout the world, which is pretty good, but I couldn't write. And so I was really upset, and my poor dad, the school teacher, was telling me, you'll never get a good job. And my rich dad said to me, he says, look, get your grades up, get good grades, study. But I'll tell you a big secret. He says, my banker has never asked me for my report card yet. My banker has never asked me what school I went to. My banker has never asked me, do I have good grades? What my banker asks for, is my financial statement. So this is what my banker looks for. So if I have a very strong financial statement, I can get all the money I want. If you have no assets over here, and the banker looks at your financial statements, and what it shows, you're not very smart financially. So the banker won't lend you any money here. So the most important thing for all of you here tonight, working in this business, is you're building the number 1 asset. You do a good job here on the assets, then that allows you to buy real estate and other things like this. If you don't do a good job here, it's pretty hard. So the most important thing you're learning right now is to be an entrepreneur and build businesses. So that's why I come and I speak. My friend Donald Trump and I, his book is here, yes. Donald Trump and I always support people in this industry because it gives you a chance for very little money to start a business. But more important than the money, the thing that all of you have an opportunity to learn is to build self-esteem, to be a leader, to be able to stand up and not care what somebody else thinks about you. The most important thing you should care about is what you think of yourself. So I congratulate you all for being here, and you're for fantastic opportunity to learn. The second thing my rich dad taught me was that there was 4 people in the world of money. And very simply it said, for most people, their mom and dad, their parents say to them, go to school to get a job. So that was my poor dad. My poor dad was always telling me to go to school so I could get a good job. So my dad was programming me to be an employee. You know, want job security, want benefits, steady paycheck. Again, my poor dad was right here. Now, I was arguing with my dad saying, I don't want a job, I want to be rich. And my mother would say to me, don't argue with your father. You know, my mother was a nurse, she worked in hospitals, and she said, the richest people I know are doctors, medical doctors. So she says, why don't you become a doctor? So this was my mom here. And I said, Mom, there's only one problem with that. So doctors are smart. I'm not smart. And she says, you're right. You shouldn't be a doctor. You know, that's smart. You know. So as my rich dad said to me, he says, Robert, you're basically lazy. I said, yeah. You're not too smart. I said, that's correct. And he said, you're basically incompetent. You can't do anything. I said, right. He says, good. You do well in business, okay? So that's why I'm in business. And what I do as a business owner is I hire these guys. And that's the difference. I still don't read very well. I still don't type very well. I still don't do numbers very well. I don't know the law. I don't know accounting. But I understand leadership. So all of you here tonight, what you are embarking upon, or already are in, is the opportunity to learn the skills of the B quadrant. Be successful in a network marketing business like ProLife. You have to want to help other people. You have to be generous. You have to teach people. You have to be great teachers. If you're generous and you want to help people, you'll be very successful. If you're generous and you're courageous and don't care what someone else thinks of you and you improve your sales skills, you'll be very, very rich. Okay? But you have to want to help people. And he said, so if you want to be an entrepreneur, the number one skill on this side is, can you sell? If you can sell, you'll be an entrepreneur. He says all entrepreneurs have to sell three things. They have to sell their customers, they have to sell their employees, how to work harder, and three, they have to raise money. You're always raising money. Always raising money. So the reason I can go to, I can come to Peru and look for a gold mine, or I go to China, is because I can raise money. It's the number one skill. So all of you are learning that skill. It may take 1 year, it may take 5 years. But if you learn it, you'll have a different life. Because you will not care what other people think about you. Your communication skills will go up. You'll get better. But if you quit, you'll never get better. So that's why Donald Trump and I always recommend that people take about 5 years to learn those skills. And I want you to leave this one message tonight. He says, if you want to be successful, you have to fail faster. You have to fail faster. The number one reason people are not successful in life is because they don't fail enough. Anybody who is successful has failed more than anybody else. So I'll leave you this thought tonight. If you're going to be successful, the faster you fail, and the more you fail, the more successful you become. Now, that goes completely against these guys' ideas. When my poor dad, being a school teacher, if you fail, you fail. Failing is bad to smart people. That's why they're poor. You go to school, you make a mistake, they punish you, you don't do it again. That's why smart people like my dad weren't rich. He didn't want to fail. Because in school, if you make too many mistakes, you're stupid. So I go see my rich dad, and he says, Robert, you better find a way to fail faster. Now I'll just say this much. I hate failing today just as much as I did 40 years ago. But I know that every time I do it, I'm getting smarter, I'm getting better, I'm getting stronger. I'm getting more successful. So that's why I come, and my friend Don and I speak to organizations such as yours, because you have an opportunity to grow the skills of an entrepreneur, to become a leader in business, but more importantly, to gain confidence and skills that you can use throughout your life. So this is my lesson. Fail faster, practice, but every time you feel like pulling back, push forward. Thank you guys very much. All right? Thanks for having me.
Esta experiencia ha sido invalorable. Ha sido una jornada espectacular. Con nosotros simplemente no nos queda ni nada más que agradecerles por su presencia y mencionarles que estamos aquí efectivamente para hacer la diferencia, que somos peruanos, que vamos a crear una gran industria, vamos a crear un imperio y a partir de este proceso vamos a hacer nuestros sueños realidad.